Well, I was born in Saltley Road.
Yeah, and it had a
So
full
11 back at 39, Saltley Road, back to back house.
And what was that like?
Well, there's nothing there really. It's just a house with a little scullery and 2 bedrooms upstairs, 1 room downstairs, and outside toilet. You had to go up the opening to the toilet, you know, and share with other people, obviously. If you wanted a bath, you had to have one of the big galvanised baths in front of the fireplace. And of course, in and out with the water, like, you know. It was hard. It was hard times. I mean, we wasn't well off. We was poor, like good many people were in them days, wasn't they? But it's just something that you accept and you just go with it, didn't you, like, you know. And then, of course, the war started. And I went all through that.
And you weren't evacuated, were you? You stayed in Nechells?
No, we could have gone, but Mum wouldn't let me go. She wanted me to stop at home. She said, I want you here. Where now is Malvina Road. It used to be Great Francis Street. And on the side where the railway bridge is, there was a row of shops that went up on the left-hand side of the road. And what they did, they opened all the cellars up under each one, so that they could use them for air raid shelters. And we used to go down there every night, 5:30, stay there and come up the next morning. And that's it. But the bombing, oh God, it was awful.
And how old were you then?
Well, the war broke out when I was 7.
One evening my sister came to collect me from nursery. It was just going dark, so I think it was in the autumn. While we were walking home, she began to tell me about the new pig bins that we had at home waiting for us. As we walked up the entry, which led to our house at the back of the shops on Ryland Street, I felt scared. I could see this new shiny bin at the side of our house with the word pig bin written in red on the lid. My sister told me pigs lived in it, and if I took the lid off, the pigs would jump out and get me. We walked over to the new bin. She shouted, "The pigs will eat you!" And I remember screaming and started to cry.
Watching Tom Mix and people like him, and Batman and Robin, and watching, you know, poor Batman trapped in the dungeon, and what will happen to him next week? We're worried to death. We're worried to death. I had my coat round me, my pack-a-mac round me, flying home, you know. But what happened to Batman? I really didn't know.
Was that Saturday morning?
Yes, Saturday morning.
I can remember going up there with my granddad, up to the Kaiser Road, to the Gaiety, and it had just been released, and it was The Wizard of Oz. I'll never forget it. I can remember just walking up holding his hand, going up there, and when I was only young.
Yeah,
The Wizard.
Early.
The Wizard.
That was on the Litchfield Road. You could walk the full, 3/4 mile long, and there were shops either side, and it went from where Spaghetti Junction is now, right to Aston Cross, where the clock is, and the full length of that was just full of shops and everything, and you could walk from one end to the other and buy everything you wanted.
And some of the things you could buy there.
I used to go to the pork butchers for my husband, and I used to go and buy the hot tripe, only because comes tea break I had to go all the way back and to the Stamping Alliance, and at a set time at 10 o'clock I used to have to throw these hot chitlins over the fence for their tea break. Yes.
Remind us about chitlins again, and what were they?
They were the sheep's tripe. Yeah,
Was it intestines or something in chitlins? We had a long discussion about what all these different things were, which were slightly scary parts of the body.
Pig's trotters and mushy peas.
Oh, yes.
Jelly deals, yes. And pennywinkle Welsh, where you got a pin to get them all out.
I remember Nancy when
Yeah. So does everybody remember those things? They sound vital.
Yeah, we remember.
Yeah.
Never ate them, but I've fetched them. Bull events, it was family owned. And wherever you wanted, you
Lovely
could get.
family.
You could walk in, you couldn't move. But was it John, his name? Was John?
Yes,
Peter.
Was it? Oh, Peter.
Peter.
And you'd go to say, have you got so and so? And he must have had a good memory because he could put his hand straight in it. No
And if
matter
he
what
hadn't
you
got
wanted.
He'd
You
order
could
it
buy.
for you.
We had a 20-week club when I worked at Elliott Street School, and Edna used to pay so much a week, and then when it was your turn, she'd bring you your vouchers, and you'd go and have a shop.
I remember, I used to,
High Street. Blankets, sheets, clothing, baby clothes, lino, carpets, patch it with a kitchen sink if you wanted it. It was great.
So if I wasn't in the shop, I was outside the shop in the window. And give away. That was a lovely family.
It touched the community in many ways. It touched the community remembers him so much and the family.
And they would be so helpful. Anything you wanted, like bull events, you'd go in and you couldn't even sort of find what you wanted really, because it was just it was an Aladdin's cave, and he was the last shop to go on Lichfield Road when they pulled everything down. He was the last. I can't remember. It was about 60s, 70s. He was the last shop to go. He wouldn't move. He just wouldn't move.
And one of the things we all remember shop-wise was not to forget your co-op number. And I'm 70 years of age and I still know it. 1959-54. Mum said 1959-54. But it got me interested in racing, and at that time I was only 5 stone and 5 foot as I was leaving school, and everybody said, "Oh, you're the right stature to be a jockey." And I was hearing about people like Lester Piggott, and he was going strong then in them days, and I was thinking, I'll be Lester Piggott, And I wrote my dad asked me to write to a couple of trainers. One was Payne Galloway, and another one was Tom Wall. And I had a reply from both of them. And Payne Galloway, he not only done flat racing, but he also done jumps. And my dad said, "You'll be working all year round," he said. So I took to writing to Tom Wall. And he accepted that I would go down as an apprentice for a month's trial. And I'd have the trial, and I was really pleased, and my dad took me down. I went shopping first to go, and I got the soap, the carbolic soap, and everything. And I'm sitting on the top of the bus, and I looked down, and got famous jockey killed. Oh my gosh! And I'm going to Newmarket the next day, and it was a guy called Manny Mercer. That's John Mercer's brother. And I went down, and my dad's friend had a car, and he took me down to Newmarket, and I went, and it was very hard for me then. I was just 15, I'd just left school, leaving mum and dad, and I'd never, I don't think I'd ever been in the sea properly, and it was very strange, and I was a bit frightened really, as you heard. But, and it was hard work actually. You had to get up at 5 in the morning, even before then have a cup of tea or a biscuit, go out and tend to the horses and that. And I'll just read you a little bit of what I read. 5 bob a week and a cake on a Friday. We used to get, that was our wages. And that's how much we earned after getting up at about 5 o'clock for a cup of tea and a biscuit. We walked to the stable yards where we would muck out and clean up the horse's stable. After the horse was saddled, we'd help from the head lad, who was not a lad but my age now, about 70. The first string of horses went out in Newmarket Heath for exercise, whilst I stayed in the yard to sweep the yard and fill buckets of water for when they came back. When they did, we looked after them, taking the kit off, and we went to the stable lads' quarters for breakfast, which would be about 9 o'clock. Then straight back to prepare for the second string of horses, whilst I was tied up the yard until they returned. And we repeated what we'd done for the first team of horses. Looking out at Newmarket Heath was spectacular, with so many horses either trotting, cantering or just walking against the morning sun. And it was different from watching old Ned the milk float horse up on the road and where we lived in Birmingham. The first horse I'd ever saw.
Thank you.
That's it.
Then the 60s came.
Well,
Oh, 60s, yeah.
It was a whole new ball game. Yeah.
it was a new sound. We were so excited, you know, a bit fed up of hearing Dad talking about the big bands and Victor Sylvester and Izzy Bonn, or it was Izzy Bonn.
Izzy Bonn.
And I remember when the 60s come and Billy Fury. I said, Mum, you've got to listen to this, Mum. And he'd be singing a song called Jealousy. And Mum was, it's older than me, you know. but it wasn't, to us it was a new sound. We're so excited. And people like this man, Buddy Holly, he was new, you know, new sound, and it was exciting for us all. And then what followed him was Bill Haley. Bill Haley on the drums. They all came in. That turned up. And we had Good Golly, Miss Marley and Little Richard. I've actually seen Little Richard on stage along with Sam Cooke, you know, in Birmingham.
And in the book we talked about you talked about going to see Roy Orbison and
We did,
the Beatles.
yes. I saw him in '63 with when the Beatles and Jerry and the Pacemakers were support acts, and you know Roy Orbison he brought the house down, and John Lennon was quoted as saying, you know, can't they get him off? You know what I mean? They wanted to get the Beatles on.
I used to love the 60s. It was a bit of freedom for me, because that was the first freedom I used to have as I got older, because I was working and that. I used to love the flower power. 60s just made me happy. Like I say, it was more freedom and this and that, and I just started work. I started work when I was 15, but I used to be like, I wasn't allowed to go out when I was younger because I had to look after my brothers and sisters. So when I started work, and that time, it was like happy time for me, freedom. So I love the 60s.
And you talked about having a record player and listening to your music.
Oh, that was my pride and joy. And my dad, he loved Cilla Black, and he used to get me to stand up in front of all my family, like, and sing.
Anyone who
singing Hearts. He loved Cilla Black, and that was that song I had to sing to him. And he loved me to sing that to him.
And you remember the song, was it? I used to sing to you that.
Anyone who had a heart.
You could do it now.
No. Oh no, I can't sing that.
Because I was born in 32.
Okay.
It was 70, yeah, I was 70.
And then it was the end of the war when you went to this school.
Yeah, that was when I had to go to open air school. Yeah, because I'd always had a bad chest, you know, I'd got bronchitis and I was anemic. And I'd had it for a long time. And Mum took me to the doctor, and the doctor said, oh, she'll lose it when she's 7 if, you know, just go. But obviously it didn't go. And our Mum went back to him, she said, well, he's still got it. And he said, he said, oh, well, she'll leave it by the time she's 14. Did I? Because like, but anyway, I was always sick, so that's excuse me, I'm getting myself all.
No, you're doing good, Peggy, you're doing good.
Yeah.
Just memories.
But,
So just remind, what was the open air school like? Because I'd never heard of an open air school till you told me about it. I've never heard of one.
It was at Marshall, Marshall Open Air School.
So did you have to be out in the open air? I've got visions of you sitting out in the cold.
No, actually no. But it was built of glass and wood, you know. Very nice. And I mean, they were wonderful to us. And we got a sister, a nurse, and doctor. And the sister, she used to come round as regular as clockwork every morning with a trolley with this big bottle and loads of spoons and all that. Take this.
And what was that?
Liver oil.
Cod liver oil.
And she said, she said, now I'm going to stand there while you drink it. She said, you're not spitting it out, said you're drinking. And it stood by every one of us until it's gone.
That's how you did,
Yeah.
So how many people had cod liver oil then? It's obviously done you good. You're all still around.
And then at lunchtime, everybody had to have an hour lying down. They got like big sheds, all wooden floors and everything, you know. And they got them all out for us, so we had to go and lie down for an hour. Because we was all got something wrong with us, like my best friend, she got asthma, you know.
Yeah, my brother had asthma, he had
Yeah,
to
she
go
got
to
it
open
really
air
bad.
school.
Yeah. But it was a wonderful place, and very good. I mean, we didn't stay there, we came home at night, of course.
Did you have to do PE and things? Is that why, you know, to get yourself fit?
Well, we didn't have a lot, I'll be honest with you now. I suppose because of the way they were, there was all poorly. That was why they all went to the open-air school, so.
Okay.
And then I left when I was 14. And I started to work, but I wasn't at work very long. And my mum turned around and said, I can go to work. I said, you stop at home, I'll go to work. I said, I can earn more money than you. So I stayed at home looking after the children for a while. While Mum went to work.
That's brilliant. Give her a round of applause. How did we get involved in this Living Histories project?
What do you mean? Because I turned around and said, we could write a book. I said, yeah, I've done, you know, I've been here such a long time, lived here all my life. I said I could write a book, as simple as that. Yeah. And she went, she took it. And I'm not going to write the book, believe me. I've got a clue.
She took it to the
Well, maybe you weren't any good at writing a book, but you've been involved in writing a book, haven't you?
Oh, yeah,
now you
are. Definitely. Yeah.
So just a simple comment like, we could write a book, has resulted in a project
being done.
in this project called Living Histories. Yeah. I just want to think about what we were setting out aiming to do when we started the course, which was memories, creative writing, writing a book which isn't quite finished, and the film's a bit extra, so that's good. I want you to think about what's been good about it, what have you liked about coming here every Thursday.
I think everything.
What's been good about it?
I think everything.
Everything?
Everything, because it's brought us out ourselves, we've talked amongst ourselves, and we've had a good time doing it. And that to me is great.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's absolutely fantastic. It's got me out, you know, a lovely crowd of people, you know, good friends, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Brilliant.
I've enjoyed it. I thought it's really interesting. I've learnt more about Nechells, which, as I'm interested in history, I always looking to do that. And I've really enjoyed it. Enjoyed, you know, coming here every week, meeting everybody.
Yeah, I thought it would definitely be interesting, but it'd be hard work and people could be difficult, you know. And in the event, it's turned out you've been an absolute delight, and I've enjoyed working with each and every one of you. I think you're fantastic.
Whoa! And also, I've just thoroughly enjoyed coming, sharing our stories and memories, sad, happy. I think being honest as well.
We have had that, haven't we? Because we could have just talked about the good things, but we've talked about some of the tough times as well.
That's right, because that's the truth, isn't it? That's how as it was, and I firm believer say it as it is. And I've enjoyed everyone.
We're at Nechells Pod.
Memories are made of this.
Good times and bad times. Births, marriages and deaths.
Celebrate parties and fun.
Life is just like that.
Blacklead stove and grub.
Cooking grey peas and bacon.
Stew with giant dumplings.
Red rattle polish.
Sugar butter sandwich. Privity tin bath.
Coronation party.
We're dancing the night away.
Never mind the rain.